What's up guys, it's CG. So this is going to be a thorough review of Ganymede. First I'm going to give you guys a rundown so you have a general idea what the fragrance is about. Then I'm going to share how users rated the scent profile and the performance. My wife and I are going to share our impressions of it. And finally I'm going to share my overall opinion after wearing it. Without further ado, let's get this started. This fragrance is pretty weird and it's going to be pretty hard for me to describe it because it's in a category of its own, and that's kind of what's special about it. It's as if the aliens dropped off a fragrance for the human species. If I had to describe it, I would say it kind of has a spicy leather with a mineral component going off on it, almost like a kind of metallic, mineralic kind of leather. I did my best. The notes listed on their website are mandarin, osmanthus, leather accord, akigala wood, and immortelle. And it's worth noting that even though this fragrance is really out of left field, really unique and weird, it maintains its sensibility as a male fragrance, which is one of the things I love about it. It makes sense as a cologne. This fragrance is actually named after Jupiter's largest moon and the largest moon in our solar system. Ganymede is the only moon in our solar system with its own magnetic field. And Ganymede has a salty ocean underneath its icy surface, which may contain more water than all of Earth's oceans combined. As far as how much users like the scent, 69% of people gave it an 8 or above, and about half gave it a 9 or a 10. This led to an average rating of an 8.1. Looking at the rating distribution, it's clear that this fragrance is somewhat polarizing. For me, it was very difficult in the beginning. It was actually one of the worst things I ever smelt. But now I actually quite like it and would give it somewhere between an 8 and a 9. I'm enjoying it. It's not one of those ones that I loved at first smell for sure. For longevity, I got an average rating of an 8.7. Over 92% of voters gave it an 8 or higher, and that's my experience with it as well. I got a good 7 to 8 hours out of it, so I'm gonna have to rate it at 8. It lasts a good amount of time. For sillage, I got an average rating of an 8.3. Again, 83% of people gave it an 8 or above. This creates a nice scent bubble. I wouldn't say it's suffocating for the people around you or overpowering. It just creates a nice 4 or 5 foot scent bubble. That's my experience with it. I'm really happy with the sillage on this one. I'm gonna have to give it a 9. Yeah, so pretty much nobody's in debate about the performance of this fragrance. It's got good performance. The polarization really comes with the scent. You either love it or you really don't like it, but it seems like a lot of people actually enjoy the scent profile of this one. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, when I first smelt this, I thought it smelled like straight ass. I thought it was like one of the worst things I ever smelt in my whole fragrance journey. What I got from it initially was something like body odor, taco seasoning, and some kind of weird metallic chlorine smell with it. Literally the only fragrance that I smelled in the first impression of it was just pure nausea. Like, how could anybody like this? Fortunately, I've learned in my fragrance journey, it's better to learn to appreciate things than to just try to find things that you appreciate right away. So I gave it more of a chance. And now I like Ganymede. It's crazy how my journey's changed and I get more from it. So first time I applied it, absolutely not. Second time, absolutely not. It took a while for me to really just get accustomed to it. And now my perception of it has completely changed. I don't get taco seasoning. Before I did, but I don't really understand how I got that before, but I did. I almost got taco seasoning with a very light dose of cumin, just that kind of seasoning, just the spice part of it was what I was thinking, and then a mineral component, almost like a metallic. Now it's going to be very hard to describe this fragrance specifically because it's not derivative at all, but if I had to describe what I get from it, I get kind of like a weird leather that's a bit spicy with something that's hard to explain. Okay, it's like a spicy leather that's mixed with almost like a mineral. It like has a mineral component, and this part's even harder to explain. But the overall blend, and if I were to give you the vibe I get from it, is something that's gritty. It's like a gritty freshie. And it makes me think of the color beige, and because of that, it kind of makes me think of like sand dunes. like almost like a sand freshie is the only way I could think about it. Like a gritty, kind of leathery, kind of spicy, fresh fragrance with a bit of a mineral component that's just kind of making it something else, like otherworldly. The movie I think of is Mad Max because of the sand dunes. I think that's the primary part, and that whole sand atmosphere, and also the characters being kind of almost otherworldly like. All that makes me think of the movie Mad Max. That's just the connection my mind makes. But it's a fresh, gritty, kind of leathery fragrance. Surprisingly, like the initial reaction I had to it, I thought that was going to be the common reaction. But I actually brought this to work and showed it to quite a few people, and almost everybody liked it and liked it right away and understood it. They all felt it was light, and a lot of the way that they described it was a soapy leather kind of smell. Someone else said that they got a lot of fruit from it. It seems like people get different things. Like my wife, like you're about to see, she gets a tropical smell from it. So it's like everybody gets something kind of different from Ganymede, but it's not as polarizing as I thought it was going to be going into it. My reaction to it initially of just pure disgust is actually not the norm. And the more I've spent time with it, the more wearable I realize it is. It's something that does work. I feel even in the heat, as long as it's not super hot outside, to the cold weather, something that isn't really offensive, is pretty light and easy to like, something that can be worn to the office. It's really like a fragrance that just is out of nowhere. It's not derivative at all, but I feel like it makes sense. That's the crazy thing about Ganymede to me, is it smells good, and even to the average everyday person, if they pick up on it, it's gonna just make sense, like, oh, that smells good, even though it's coming from a total different dimension. Not derivative, doesn't smell like a cologne. To most people, they're gonna understand it pretty fast. I think it works for most ages, though I would say it leans a little bit more on the mature side, maybe 25 and up. I would say this is a try before you buy, and even if you don't like it at first, I would also say give it a chance. This is one that can really open you up and teach you how to appreciate a more broad spectrum of fragrances, which is something that in this hobby has really given me a lot of joy. I feel like I have so much variety now because I allowed myself to sit with things longer. And just learn to appreciate things rather than smell something, oh, I don't like it, it's trash, throw it out. Everybody who likes this has bad taste, and I have superior taste to everybody. That's kind of how my motto was in the beginning, but now it's like, oh, I don't like this, but a lot of people do, so let me sit with it and learn to appreciate it and go into their world. Ganymede is great for that.
Ganymede. That's a unique name. Whoa, that's sprayed really hard. This one is very different. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in Puerto Rico, in Christmas time, there's a beverage called pitorro, which is like our moonshine. Okay, it's like people make it in their homes, alcohol. It is really strong. This smells like that, exactly like that. Like in Puerto Rico, people come up, oh, you want to take a shot of this, and you smell it and you're like, this is gonna mess me up. That's what this smells like. So that's my take on it. I don't know what it's supposed to smell like, but it smells like pitorro. All right, so the age, I think somebody older should wear this, 35 and up. And very, at least in my imagination, very tropical vibe to it. So that's it. That means that maybe it's a warmer weather scent. I give this one, surprisingly, I give it an 8. It's actually good. It's different. So that's good.
So my overall take on this fragrance is, it kind of is for me, even though I appreciate it and understand it now, I need to sit with it more. I did order a 5 ml, so I plan to wear it more often and just get more of a feel for it. And decide on it. Fortunately, they sell it in smaller bottles, like a 30 ml, because even if I warm up to this one, I don't see it something that I would wear very often or really reach for. It's something I probably really appreciate, but I just don't feel like it's something that I'd really go for in a collection. Feel free to comment with y'all's opinions, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.